Hey guys, welcome to Beer Buzz in the Big Sky podcast. This week, Ryan and I have Angie Jacobs with us, the Whitefish City Attorney. Yep. Angie, thank you for coming here. Oh, I turned you off because...
Ed?
There we go.
He's always trying to silence me.
Some cannot be silenced anyway. Anyway, we're going to start tonight because there's been an interesting guy in Whitefish. I'm not sure. I don't know the guy. I think we got him up on the slide so people might know who this is. There it is. Not that one. Well, that's the rally that's coming up Saturday. We're going to do that. We're going to promote that. All right, keep going. One more. No, one more. Sorry. Paul Gilman. Anyway, he started Whitefish. What's it called? Whitefish.
I don't know. That's the guy. He keeps emailing me, asking me for pictures of my feet.
Oh,
really
well,
weird.
he's trying to friend me on Facebook. I'm 52 years old and the same gender. It's kind of gay. It's really gay.
Right.
I don't know.
You do you, Paul. But
he started the Whitefish something where he's like, I don't know. You know him, right, Angie? And this guy doesn't live here full time. I understand. This is
born
what
and
I've heard.
raised, I thought.
No. Oh, really? Is he born and raised?
No.
Oh, so, I don't know. Do you know?
Where? What?
Do you know where Paul Gilman is? He from here? Or
No, he's from Arizona.
Arizona. That's what I've heard.
Damn it.
Yeah. See, you're wrong again, Ryan.
What?
But I can't believe I can't remember the name. It's like Whitefish Town Hall.
Yes, because I believe he got kicked off several other platforms.
Oh, so
you found your own, social media platform.
What is
I think.
Whitefish Town Hall?
that's his thing. It's a Facebook page that he has.
Oh, it's just like a...
Or Whitefish Town Center.
Yeah, I believe he created a Facebook page to hate Dana and I, which
Town
is
Square. Whitefish Town Square. And he does most of the comments on his own posts.
He just kind of shouts into the
He's
void?
got one lady that it's really weird stuff, dude. Look at it sometime. But what about the next slide, Mike? Because this one he said it's an AI actor, and that was a picture of you. And he's kind of trying to call you out, but what you're saying there, if I remember right, was just like it really doesn't matter what's going on with this, and we found the mistakes, and we're going to dealing with it. Like,
Wait a minute, that's real?
No, that's actually me. So he created a complete AI news feed about Dana and I, and he had different actors acting like it was real news.
Oh, he did.
No, he did. He had a complete news station. Oh my God, look at this. And then the first news anchor, AI news anchor he had for me was male, and then he wasn't getting enough traction. So he decided that he was going to create a female news anchor because that would make people hate me more.
Oh my God! So what's wrong with this guy? Does he come to city council
Did he
meetings?
get kicked in the head by a horse or something?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could happen in Arizona.
So he thinks that's an AI rendering
No.
of you?
No, that's actually me.
That's actually you, but he thinks it's AI?
No, that's part of his AI rendering.
Gotcha.
His entire fake news AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Man,
So
strange.
there are some really crazy people out there. And then there's another one, Montana First News. Have you heard of this one?
No, I haven't heard that.
Oh, you haven't heard of this? It's the one that puts out stories about the warming center, about a backpack starting on fire, and all these.
Montana
This
First?
person just hate. Anyway, a friend of mine, his mother grew up with this lady, and she's starting her own news network, Montana First News. So I think people should check it out. It's a little. I mean, it's weird. It's kind of like this Gilman thing. Like we have these weird people that whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I wouldn't even call. Well, I wouldn't call them MAGA or Republican or conservative. I wouldn't. I don't know what they are.
Schizophrenic?
Schizophrenic. Yeah, they have nobody really part of their deal. But they're doing it.
Yeah, and they're doing it, but they're also hurting people doing it.
Exactly.
Watching this stuff on social media for me, trying to sit on my hands and not reply.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing is I can. Talking about how the city settled the impact fee lawsuit, it's fine. Look at the court documents. Those are facts.
Right, yes.
Those are
You
public.
can have facts.
Bring the mic
Talking
closer.
about my character and Dana Smith's character, how are we supposed to rebut that?
And there's
a
these
joke.
people out there that are following this and commenting they don't know you, and they're
No.
being fucking dicks about it. And you're like, what makes people so? What are they so mad at?
Because I tend to think that people like to believe the negative because they like the negative in themselves. So I was having a really hard time with this. I'm not even lying. I was on my couch crying at one point looking at this shit.
Being like,
And
what the fuck?
My
Yeah.
son walked down and he's like, Mom, what are you crying about? And I'm like, this. And he's like, stop looking at that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I stop looking at that? He's like, do you know those people? I go, no.
No, I
Because
don't.
it doesn't
Do you wanna
matter.
know those people? I go,
Not
no.
particularly, no. Yeah. No.
He goes, this is 7th grade bullshit.
You're right.
Would these people say that to your face? And I'm like,
Yeah.
they could try. So, and he's like, stop looking at it. Like, this is ridiculous.
You know, I've said it for years that social media and cable news has
Bullshit.
done to my parents' generation what they said video games would do to me.
Yep.
Oh,
Absolutely.
dude.
Where it's
That's
like,
smart.
It's
Yes.
gonna rot your brain, you know.
Yeah, and I still play video games. My brain's, it's okay.
You're all right, I guess. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's all right. But yeah, dude, wow. Like, you think about it, because there's people I know and I've grown up with that are really weird now. Like weird ass people,
Yeah.
like that I've known for 50 years, and
Yeah.
the shit on their social media, you're like, oh, come on, how are you believing this? You know,
Right.
like, and there's so much out there that you don't, that you just can't believe. But again, 20% of this country is illiterate.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
My
you
dad
know?
got duped yesterday by the
Oh no.
by the golf course. I don't know if you saw their Instagram post on the 1st.
Oh no, Whitefish. They
We
said
had
they
the
were
snow,
opening?
and they said we're not opening until June 15th. And
Oh.
he blew up my phone and was like, "I want a refund.
What the hell's going on? This is horseshit."
bullshit." And I was like, "Dad, I think this might be an April Fool's joke."
So the Whitefish, the show on Bravo,
saw
woman
that,
show.
too.
So my friend sends it to me. He's like,
The
"What's
real,
this shit?" I
the
go,
Real
"Dude,
Housewives
check
of
your."
Whitefish.
Yeah, Whitefish, yeah,
I saw that.
I'm like, check your calendar.
Right, Jesus Christ.
You know, I got Fred last night in trivia. I unplugged his HDMI from the
Oh,
deal.
nice.
Yeah, he was kind of having a little heart attack. I got a good
Well, the
video.
crazy
of it.
thing is when real news happens on April 1st, and people just assume it's a hoax.
Exactly.
Like I think Marvin Gaye was killed on April 1st, and everyone
Did
thought
you
it
hear
was
about
a
that?
hoax.
Yep.
I'm Batman. He died. Val Kilmer died.
Yeah. Rest
So
in
I
peace,
thought that was a
Val.
joke for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I was
He's
like,
only 65. I mean,
know.
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
and there, you know, there's sometimes like there's things that go out there where they say some actor died. I don't know why that's even funny
Right.
or cool.
Adam Sandler's died a half a dozen times. I see it all the time. Yeah.
What is that? Like,
I don't know. People just get a kick out of being a little prankster, I guess.
yeah, like Mike Huckabee.
Oh,
You
my.
know, I got my President's Guide or Children's Guide to President Trump and stuff, and
Well, that might just be fraud.
they try to. It should be. You know what I mean? It says free.
Yeah.
And I ordered it, and
He
it
bought
was.
a children's book, a President Trump's children's book, and they charged him for that book and 2 additional books without telling him.
And they're like small little magazines, $17 a piece. I canceled the card.
as you should have.
Yeah.
Credit card fraud there, but that's
It's
all
so brutal. Like, and you know how many people buy that because they want to buy it for their grandkids because they're senile and they're old.
Yeah,
and,
that's sad.
You know, they're like dumb as hell, and they're like, oh, because it's propaganda stuff. It's bad.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
brutal.
it's bad. It like mirrors George Washington and Donald Trump throughout the book.
Which,
about
duh.
how they're kind of the same kind of people.
Duh.
I mean, I don't know George Washington, so I can't comment.
Okay, so here's a question for you. So we all know Trump, eats nothing but McDonald's
Yeah.
and Oreos and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't eat dogs.
Dogs.
That's just those people in Ohio.
That's right. Yeah.
If
They're
you
eating the
gave George
dogs.
Washington President Trump's lunch, it'd probably kill him.
Oh, kill him right on the spot,
Right?
I bet. Yeah, more than
He'd
likely.
probably get so
you're saying
sick
Trump is
that he
stronger
would
than
die.
Washington?
Another thing I was thinking about the other day, I bet Melania had one meal with Trump and was like, oh, this guy's going to be dead in 5 years. Like,
Let's
there's
get
no-
married.
Yeah, right. I'll marry, no problem. I got
He's still
5,
alive.
maybe 10
Put
years.
the
and he's-
butter on it. Put the butter
He eats
on it.
4 McFish
More
a day.
butter?
Yeah, it's like, my
More
God.
Supersize it, Donnie. Please, supersize it.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like my girlfriend with my dog. She's like, he's still alive. Like, Lord Vader is still alive.
Long
Anyway,
live Vader.
let's start with some law stuff because we got some lawyers here. Ryan, why don't you start it? Because you started with the political affiliations in judicial elections, which got voted down today.
Yeah, I did see that. So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that, Angie. So there was that bill that wanted to make, judicial elections in Montana party-based. So you'd run as, a Democrat or Republican or an independent. I'm kind of the camp that kind of already happens anyway.
Right.
Well, it does because that's who you're being funded by. But
Yeah.
I think it's misguided. Because
I do too.
Okay, so you're educating your voters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your voters are going to vote for you because you're a Republican or you're a Democrat.
Yeah.
Should be voting for people because they're a Republican or Democrat. Should
Yeah.
be voting for them because they apply the law to the facts and reach an objective.
Yeah.
And also, do you want to run as a judge as a Republican or a Democrat? I don't. I
Nope.
mean, you will run as a judge far before I do. No, because you're going to disappoint half your contingency when you actually make a good decision.
Right.
Like Swanson has a couple times already. You know the Republicans are pissed.
He's actually
They're
surprised
pissed.
me.
Surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Because, like, you know, he's a lawyer, and he's like, you know, just,
12.
you
Well,
know.
I think it surprised me in the sense that I just assumed that he was like right wing.
Well, I thought he was MAGA,
Right,
for sure.
because I saw every Gianforte sign or Zinke sign or Sheehy sign, I saw a Swanson sign.
Yep,
so I was
you did.
like, oh, okay. And what's fascinating to me is I don't think they have any real control over that.
No.
I mean, you know,
No,
someone
no.
someone like Catherine Bittigary or Dan Wilson, I mean, they don't know who's putting their signs where and who they're grouping them with.
True. I was glad Bittigary won. I was surprised with that one too.
I was surprised with that one too.
I mean, I think we kind of lucked out because you see this strategy nationwide on all these judicial, these bills having to do with the judiciary in all these states, and mostly red states. Of course, because that's where a lot of these changes happen. Where the redistricting, the gerrymandering, and the Supreme Court is. I mean, that's like that Wisconsin vote yesterday. I mean, it saved Democrats' ass in a big way, because they're not going to lose Wisconsin automatically now,
Well, I think if it did anything, it showed that the Democrats still have a little bit of hope out there, right? I mean, because things have been pretty bleak for the blue team in the past few months.
What Cory Booker now for president, I guess?
Yeah,
That's
who
all they
knows?
got? I don't know.
He's pretty close to Wall Street, but personally, it was just nice to watch Elon Musk eat shit.
Yes, I did like that.
Yeah.
He spent like 20.
That's what I enjoyed. But
Didn't he spend like 24
maybe I'm
million?
petty. Yeah.
And he gave away a couple $1 million checks to people who are going to vote or
I did
support
see
it.
that.
And one of them was a Ron Johnson aide.
I saw that.
Unbelievable. And he's part of Charlie Kirk's Act
Yeah,
something.
he was the head of the college Republicans.
Head
He
of the
got $1
college
million
Republic.
bucks.
Weird how he got it. So random, That's the thing is these guys don't play by the books. And I'm not saying Democrats do. I never will. But they're
just
being-
rubbing your face
They're
in it at
rubbing it in
this
their
point.
face,
Yeah.
man. Like
Yeah,
they
at this
just doing
point-
what they want.
Right. They're high stepping into the end zone. They're hitting the dab on you. Yeah.
What's this shrink in the Montana Supreme Court? Are they trying? Is there
So
a
they
bill
were
that
trying to, I don't know if you were aware of this bill, Angie. I believe it was Lucas Schubert, friend of the show, friend of the pod.
Friend of the
Come
pod.
on, Lucas.
Luke.
Anytime you want to come on, we got a seat for you.
Anytime.
He wanted to shrink the Montana Supreme Court from 7 justices to 5.
Okay, so why?
Oh.
I am aware of that.
Well,
Why?
I
Did
think-
he just wake up and he's like,
I think
"Shit,
we all
I've never
know."
practiced law.
I think we all know what 2 specific justices
that
he's
wants
trying to
gone.
get rid of.
But still, do you just wake up?
Yeah,
and
who
be
do you
like,
get rid of?
You know
But
what?
that
I think
also
it'd be a really
failed.
good idea just to have 5. But
Right.
then again,
These
he-
5 specifically,
These 5
yeah.
specific. But then again, he also introduced the joint resolution to declare Jesus Christ.
22.
Christ is king.
Christ as King.
Christ
Yep.
is king. So maybe his focus isn't all that.
They're tackling the
sharp
tough
right
issues
now.
up there. in
That
Delaware.
hearing was hilarious. I watched it. It was awesome. There's
I
a
think you
rabbi.
showed me some of that.
The
The
rabbi
rabbi really
ripped
took him
him
to
up.
task,
Zoe
yeah.
ripped him up. I got to talk to
Yeah.
her right after, and I was in Helena, and I was like, dude, this is, wow, man.
Well, I'm sure Lucas felt really bad, and in 5 years he can legally buy a beer.
Well,
Dude.
exactly. And I think, what was it, the next day that he introduced that one? It was tax break for shooting silencers.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
WWJ did.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Like Jesus definitely wanted
Is that the
us to have
7th one?
silencers.
Shall not kill? I think that's the 7th one.
Yeah.
7th
Is
or
it?
8th. I don't know. I can't.
okay, right.
I don't
think
think they
you're-
apply anymore. What did somebody say? There is the Geneva Convention is no longer a convention. It's a Geneva suggestion.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's TJ.
Oh.
TJ gave us that one.
TJ,
Thanks,
friend of the
TJ.
show. TJ,
Friend
there
of the
he
show.
is, right there. He just came out of the back.
All right, Senate Joint Resolution 15, a resolution to declare Marbury versus Madison.
So, Angie, of course, I'm sure you're aware of Marbury v. Madison. For people that
I'm
don't
not.
know, it's a landmark Supreme Court decision back in like 1791, like a long time
That
ago.
would be why.
He's written by John Marshall.
I know who that is. actually.
Or John Jay, one of them, one of the Johns, essentially establishing judicial review. So essentially what he's saying is, it's the legislator's job to write the laws, it's the
Oh.
president's job to faithfully execute the laws, and it's the court's job to say what the law is.
Yep.
Right?
The 3 basic branches of
Right.
government that we learned in civics.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is day 1 law school stuff.
I think this is day 1
grade
freshman
school
civics
stuff.
law. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now they're saying that essentially there are 2 branches of government. There's the executive and the legislature.
They're
and
saying that in Montana.
they're trying. It was the resolution.
Oh,
did
so they're
not
trying to get rid of the Supreme Court. We don't need the judicial
and it's
branch.
like it's been valid law for hundreds and hundreds of years. For example, where I deal with it a lot as a public defender is speedy trial, right? For a misdemeanor case, the state has 6 months to bring you to trial, unless for good cause they go past that deadline. So a judge determines what is good cause. There's no way the legislature can put in the definition, good cause, the witness was on bed rest for pregnancy, good cause, the cop was at a training, good cause. There's just no way for them to provide that many definitions. So that's a function via Marbury v. Madison that the courts serve. They say, look, when there's a little ambiguity in the law, we decide what it means. We give guidance to the legislature. I guess it had a good run in Montana.
Yeah.
They tried to do this in 2021 as well, but it failed.
Did they try to do it in 2023 as well?
Yeah.
And now we have the one up there, and it is basically telling the Supreme Court that you can't tell us that we can make gay marriage legal. You just need to overturn your own case law.
Right.
So cool. These people are spending our tax dollars telling the United States Supreme Court what they should do. And I'm sure the Supreme Court justices are just sitting around
they're going to listen to Montana.
The Montana legislature thinks that we should do this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, a resolution failed today for the Montana legislature to demand that America balances its budget.
Okay.
So they're going to listen.
So they're.
And it was like somebody on maybe it was Glim. There was some comments. I don't know. It was
I get it.
What are you doing? Why are you wasting our time?
But these stupid resolutions that nobody is reading other than us to make fun of them.
Right.
Right. It is good fodder.
I get the sentiment behind, the federal government should have a balanced budget. I get it. But based, for everything I've read, they've always left that up to the states. Montana has a constitutional amendment saying there has to be a balanced budget.
Yes.
So the state of Montana has to have a balanced budget. The federal government, it was always intended when there was a war, when there was a natural disaster, that they could go into the red, borrow money, to assist the states. I think it sounds nice. Sure, balanced budget sounds nice. All it would take is one hurricane to hit the coast, and then we're screwed.
It's gone. Yeah, right. You're right. And that's
I don't know, maybe that makes me a socialist.
That's a whole other topic, but insurance will have to be socialized at some point. There's just no way.
Oh boy.
I mean, people are. The people will expect. Even in these southern states, are getting wiped out by hurricane after hurricane, and they're not getting insurance.
Socialized
so it's either
insurance.
you got to go move to the middle of the country where tornadoes are what you got to worry about.
Welcome to the podcast, brought to you by Mao Zedong. Yeah.
But man, I'll tell you what. You're right. People would call you a socialist. You say something like that, but
that's
what are you
always
gonna
been
do?
the thought. It's the federal government is there to borrow money if need be.
And you know what? Not under this administration.
Wow.
They are stealing as much as I'm convinced. We have the richest cabinet by probably the last I don't know how many combined. Really.
Right.
So these are the richest people in the world taking jobs from some of the poorest people in the country.
Yeah.
These people are the richest people in the world working hand in hand with our government. I am blown away every day I wake up and hear the shit that in the news and what they're doing.
Yep.
And the next thing they want to cut, the next thing they want to get rid of. And they're acting like, it's just this big waste and this
They're about
and
to
that.
cut $800 billion from Medicaid.
I mean, how? How are they going to get away with that?
Who's going to stop them?
Yeah.
You're right.
That would be the court system that they
Well,
want to get rid of.
so here's my thought: is they're
Chuck
going to
Schumer, if you're watching, wake up.
they're going to do all this. They're going to pass a tax cut. The market's going to crash, and they're going to suck as much money as they can. Then they're going to reinvest that in the market, and by 2026. It'll probably be better, but they don't give a shit until then because they know they're losing the House because they're throwing all the marbles in right now.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
But I was talking to Mike right before the show. You cut so it's about $850 billion over the next 10 years from Medicare and Medicaid.
Yeah.
Think about what that'll do to rural hospitals.
Oh, they're
across the
done.
country.
They're done.
Right.
They're done.
And not even rural hospitals. I mean,
it's going to be like the old days where you have to have a
horrible.
traveling doctor.
Yeah.
All right. I thought this was pretty funny, the odd Montana law.
Oh, yeah, there's some weird stuff out there still on the books in Montana.
Ordinance 280.
Yeah, so that's a Kalispell ordinance. I looked it up the other day that says any pool table in Kalispell, it's the title of the ordinance is an anti-screening law, which means anti-screen. So any pool table has to be visible from the street. Right.
Is it so they can make sure you're not gambling while
I
you're
don't know.
playing?
I imagine to me, it was like the movie The Music Man, if anyone's seen that.
Oh, yeah.
You got trouble.
Ron
Right
Howard.
here in right here in River City. With
Ron
a capital
Howard's-
P, and that stands for pool.
Ron
Yeah.
Howard's first movie.
Yeah, that's
That
immediately what I
could be a
thought of.
trivia question.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't. Maybe Angie can explain that one a little bit. I think it was passed.
Do you know
in
anything about that?
It was passed in like 1915 or something.
do
The
you
or-
You have to.
I know
No,
just had a birthday for Jesus.
Yeah.
No, so it's interesting. Did you see speaking, getting back to the legislature and weird laws? So we have a dueling law.
Yeah, we still have a
yeah.
dueling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Interesting.
Braxton
Braxton
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, that guy.
Trying to change it or get rid of it or something like.
Get rid of the damages. Like if you duel with someone in Montana, you have to pay for their
Oh, it's like a.
yeah their damages.
It's
For,
like a
you have to
cons-
support their wife and kids. So
If you killed it, they want to
Yeah.
get rid of that.
They wanna
Braxton
get rid
did,
of that.
So it's
yeah.
like a consent thing. It's like, hey, you signed up for the
You
duel.
signed up for the duel.
So they're
You
gonna
lost
get-
the
dueling.
duel.
I think dueling is a big
So they're
issue.
gonna get
in
rid of that.
Montana.
Then the dueling's gonna start again.
Yeah, it's gonna start
Because
again.
then you don't have to pay for the. Oh
Up
my
your
God.
insurance head.
Fucking A, man. That's crazy.
This is weird. The Billings ordinance.
It is weird, isn't it?
It's unlawful for anyone to sell, for sale, harbor, raise, or give away rats as pets.
Yeah, they must have had a big
Just
rat
disease.
problem.
I mean,
Yeah.
just disease.
I would think that was in response to the plague, way back in the day.
I would have
right? I would imagine.
probably,
I
yeah.
mean, it is Billings.
Because, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
bet there's a lot of rats running around Billings these days as pets. People have pet rats, you know.
We got a big one in Kalispell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
you
that
guys are
the
amazing.
Rat King?
Brad Abel.
Brad Abel, the
Oh, we
Rat
kid.
King.
We love Brad. We love him.
We do.
Come on the show, Brad.
So does the one black person that lives in the valley.
Right.
That's causing all the homelessness.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
We'll
Jerry,
get him outta here
He used to work
eventually.
here, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
We'll get him out of here.
Fucking Brad, dude.
Yeah.
I might need that after
What?
Ryan just blew that. Okay.
Speaking of Brad Abel, there's another law in the books
Something
here.
with sheep? Yeah. What's
Yeah,
that?
it's illegal in Montana to have a sheep in your truck without a chaperone.
Well, because they don't want to be, you can't be cheating on your wife.
Well, I mean, again, I don't want to cast aspersions on Brad.
I
but
just read it. I wouldn't leave my sheep alone with Brad either.
I imagine it's something to do. I imagine it's something to do with safety, right? You're driving along, the sheep goes nuts, you crash.
Oh, you need
Probably
somebody
want
there.
Why do you have a sheep in your car in the first place?
Wrangling?
I mean,
You know,
let's back
yeah.
up.
I don't know,
Let's
so it
back
can't be
up.
that old of
Let's
law.
back it up to the
Go
beginning.
maybe the 1930s or something. When people, when were people driving cars in Montana realistically?
Wouldn't you put a
40s?
sheep in the back of your truck?
Yeah, you
I'm
probably
not
wouldn't
letting
in
a
your
sheep
car.
in my Audi.
I wouldn't.
No,
No,
I know.
no.
I'm not driving around with a sheep.
They
But now I'm just
smell
gonna do it.
bad.
I'm gonna do it just to see if anyone gives me a
If
ticket.
it was cleanly sheared, it could probably go in my truck.
Okay,
But not, not with a big full coat of nasty on it,
that's fair.
Bald
I'd probably
sheep?
rather have a sheep next to me than Brad Abel, but that's just me.
All right, real quick, let's talk about mass deportations. What
Yeah,
your
so-
guys' take on that? I mean,
So switching
crazy.
to national a little bit, Angie. So the crazy thing to me as a lawyer are all these mass deportations that are going on and how badly the federal government appears to have fucked this up.
Yeah, every day you hear about something's fucked up. The wrong guy, wrong
Wrong guy,
person,
El Salvador
a family
prison.
person. They send to a prison in El Salvador.
Salvador, yeah.
That son of a. That's got to be the unluckiest person.
It's like, you're going back to Mexico. It's like, well, okay. Venezuela, you know what, never mind. We're not getting into this right now.
I'll just put you in El Salvador. you'll be
But
fine.
it's wild to me that you have, all these people that are like, and it all started with COVID, like lions, not sheep, like critical thinker, Joe Rogan, like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just asking questions. I ask the tough questions.
Yeah.
And then in the same breath, they say, if you're an illegal immigrant, you're going back to Venezuela. You're going back. And it's like, well, how do you know they're illegal without due process?
Right.
And they go, well,
That's the
the
part,
government told me they were.
That's the part I don't get.
because
you
it's
do.
too timely. It's too timely to give people due process.
You-
They rush it through, rush
you
it through,
can't
rush it through.
do it that way, though.
Well,
Yeah.
they did, and they are.
I mean, they are. I mean, they don't
Who's
give
going
a
to challenge
shit.
it? I mean, who?
You're right. Cory Booker.
Right.
That's about
Oh,
it.
God bless
Well,
his
and
heart.
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe Angie can correct me on this, but the basic fundamentals of due process are, notice being one of them, like what you're charged with, so you have an
Yeah.
opportunity to answer for it.
Oh, I watch TikTok videos. There's all that. This shit's
Yeah.
on there every day.
The
People
opportunity,
challenging cops.
the opportunity to be heard. That's usually
Yeah,
through
yeah.
the right to an attorney or the right to cross-examine. The opportunity to view the evidence against you.
Well, right.
Typically, relevant and reliable evidence is what they rely on. A timely hearing. there has to be some sort of time constraints on these things.
Right.
And
right.
then if there's an adverse decision, you generally have a right to appeal.
Yeah.
That's really it.
That shouldn't take
Unless
that
we
long.
only had 5 Supreme Court
Yeah.
justices.
Yeah.
But when they can just send in they send in a little team of people, they come take them off the street and gone.
Yeah.
That's not due process at all.
No, but again, who's going to police that? Who's
MAGA hate due process.
It seems weird, right?
Ryan's not drinking. You have to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Give it to Micah.
But, and again, I do understand the sentiment of it. I don't know if you're familiar with the Lake and Riley Act. That was the, the tragic case out of Georgia where the girl was murdered.
Yep.
And it's
By an
horrific.
illegal immigrant. Yep.
And, by an illegal immigrant. And the refrain...
It's okay when Americans kill Americans, but
Right,
I'm going to tell you
say,
what.
all the people I represent are all citizens, or whatever. But it seems to me that, the refrain is, well, Lake and Riley didn't get due process. She
You're
didn't
right.
get due process. And it's
Okay.
like, okay.
Well, yeah, that's great, but that's like, okay,
You're
so
right.
that person didn't get due process, so
Yes,
we're
and
not going to give anyone
And
else
it's like,
it?
look, you can care deeply about what happened to Lake and Riley.
Yeah, of
And
course.
say that it was a tragedy and it was a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And still recognize that this due process is a fundamental part of our
cons-
system.
Yeah, and the
Yes.
Constitution.
And again,
Well-
this is like day one stuff here.
It's
This
day
is
one
not-
stuff, but did you know, too, they have a bill of, sorry, to go back to legislature, substantive due process does not exist.
Right.
It should be written out. So substantive due process does exist. It's existed, again, day one stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But the Montana legislature doesn't want to recognize substantive due process.
Oh, it's so
But it's a
fucked up.
mess. It's a mess.
so fucked
and
up.
every
Let's just rewrite the
Okay,
Constitution.
people, and I get people hate liberals. They hate Democrats.
Sure.
These are the worst people in the world. But I don't see them ever the ones taking control and just throwing weight around. I don't see that, I mean, are they? Uh-oh,
That
TJ
could be
just gave me a
anything.
no. Oh, no. It's very laced with something.
well, and every explanation I see from these people on TV, it makes no sense to me. And again, I'm not that smart. I can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Like the other day, the guy was saying to someone from the Trump administration. So this man he's a legal citizen. He had no criminal record, and he was deported because of an error. And she
Yes.
was like,
Whoops.
and she was like, let me stop you right
It was
there.
just a
I'm going to
clerical
correct the
error.
record. It was a clerical error. And it was like, who
Yeah.
gives a shit what kind
kind
of
of
error
error
it
it
was?
is? You
Like,
just
that's
fucked
not-
this
Error
guy's
when you're
life.
Yeah, it's an error when you're in prison.
I mean, think about how fucking scared these people are.
Go get him
Whoops.
back.
I mean, Jesus Christ, there's these big monster dudes like, what?
You ever go to Canada and have a cop pull up behind you and you're like, oh shit.
No,
I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but who knows what they're going to do to me.
In Canada, I don't really worry about it.
Yeah.
Or Whitefish much, but a lot of places I do. Like Idaho, do.
Oh,
And Idaho's one of those states that allow federal cops patrol their roads.
Huh.
it's my best friend.
Oh,
she's
is somebody from
Idaho.
Idaho? Yeah, rednecks. I have a lot of family from there. MAGA. MAGA-ho.
Greetings, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin just got done with his government review study.
Thank
review.
you.
That I
Thank
was
you.
supposed to be at. Sorry.
Producer Kevin
Just
has
got done.
joined the
Yeah.
show.
Well, it's funny. I saw Angie, and she's been to most of the meetings, so I thought this would be something that we could chat a little bit about.
Oh.
Next week, without you knowing yet, we're going to have 2 guests on for about 20
Uh-oh.
minutes talking about what the local government review commission does. And then on the 24th, here at the Tap House, and I heard
Uh-oh.
Ed's going to do a beer special.
Oh, no.
We are going to have a
am I doing?
open house for the public. So I
Free
just want to
wings
let
all
everybody
night.
know about. And I think that's something that's fun. And I know that Angie loves that little aspect of that in our state government. So yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that and let Ed know as well.
Open house on the 24th.
On the 24th.
What happens if
Government
we go to
Review
Helena?
Board?
What?
So we're not going to Helena next Wednesday.
Not next
No,
week,
that's
pal.
in like 3 Wednesdays. Or...
All right,
So the
I'll
Government
email
Review
it.
Board was this like Doge, but for the city of Whitefish?
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we
Fitzgerald will be running that
can
if
only
it was.
put things up to a vote or a suggestion to the commission.
Does Rhonda come to your meetings?
No.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. She seems to be the
A little
government
forceful
review.
there on the.
Heavy.
Oh, Rhonda.
Sorry-
We
sorry
joke,
about
we
that.
kid, but that's what we do here.
We'd love to have her on.
So thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. I can't wait for the things you've scheduled at my bar.
So the next issue, Angie, that I wanted to talk to you about was this topic that's been circulating that Trump's
Yes.
going to pursue a 3rd term.
Well, then Obama can too, right?
Yeah, I mean now that would be a heavyweight fight. But if you read the
Wow.
22nd Amendment, it's fairly clear to me. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice.
And George Washington, after stepped down after they wanted him to be a third-term president. This is in the Children's Guide to President Trump. I learned that.
So I'd imagine, I mean,
But when has he ever? When does he ever follow the contract?
exactly. Who's going to stop?
It's a living document, Ryan.
Yeah, we'll just amend it. I mean, I guess,
If they wanted to amend it, they would have to be working on it right now.
Just-
They'd have to be.
just thinking out loud, I guess maybe, okay, J.D. Vance runs
Yeah, and then he gives
with
it
Trump
to
as a VP,
Ew.
steps down, gives it to Trump.
But if you read the law, you can't do it.
Okay.
You can't do it. You cannot. If you've served 2 terms, even if you're vice president, it would go directly to the speaker.
Okay.
That's what I've read in the law because I was really freaked out by it too. And I'm like, this guy's gonna try and I don't even know. I thought America was over it last time, and they're not. They
No,
fucking
hell no.
love the
They're
Trump.
back, baby.
They love Donnie.
Hey,
Donnie
greatest,
can do no wrong. I can do no wrong.
greatest political comeback in history.
Bigly,
It's hard
bigly.
to, yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard to argue
It's
that.
hard to argue that. I mean, it's not like it's still not a shit ton of votes, but you're right, he did. But this guy that still says the election was stolen and stuff. Like, come on, how the one you won was okay, the one you lost wasn't, the one you won was
Yeah.
okay. Like, when do the Democrats start playing this game?
Never.
Like, fuck it, Like,
Never.
you're right. They're spineless. They don't want to lie that much, I guess.
It's never going to happen.
So, dude, the next one pisses me off.
Yeah, so Angie, have you heard about all these law firms these giant law firms in Manhattan and New York City have
Were trying to sue him or something, or they were hired by people.
because I'm sure, Angie, you worked at a private firm, right?
2 of them.
Okay. So you understand that, on occasion, certain partners or whoever works at firm can go become like a special United States assistant attorney, and they work prosecuting certain cases, things like that. Well, there were a lot of these law firms in New York that did work for January 6th, and now Trump is basically holding them hostage. And
They're caving.
yeah, this Paul Weiss, Rifkin, Wharton, and Garrison has agreed to provide $40 million in free legal fees to the Trump administration.
Like, what is that?
Yep. That's
We
a
don't-
shakedown.
It's a total
But
shakedown.
why is everybody caving? And these are powerful lawyers.
Well-
He's fucking
Well, I mean, I can't imagine it'd be too difficult for the Department of Justice to freeze all the funds at this law firm while they're investigating them for whatever crime.
true, so they're gonna have to fucking comply.
Right? Exactly.
Nobody does that much
Wow.
legal work for free.
Yeah.
I don't
Man.
do $40
well,
of
and the
legal work
truth
for
is,
free.
and to be honest, they need the legal work because all this shit they're doing
Yeah.
is there's lawsuits galore.
Yep.
Just like the state of Montana. I mean, how many lawsuits? Like, they're still fighting lawsuits from last session.
Yep.
This session's already bringing new lawsuits.
Yeah.
It's going to bring a lot more in the next 4 weeks.
Well, not if their attorney general isn't subject to
Dude.
any sort of disciplinary.
He still has a license?
He does.
Wow.
He does. Crazy.
Holy
It's
wow.
still, I just read something. You can still get suspended for 90 days. It's still out there.
Yeah. But I mean, I liken it to this is going to the bully's birthday party, right?
It is.
Be like, I gotta
It
go.
is.
I gotta give him a present. Get him off my ass for a couple weeks.
He fucking stinks. He
Like
sucks,
today.
but-
So I don't know if you know this or if you know this, but there's a huge antitrust lawsuit against Facebook right now, or
Yeah.
Meta.
Yeah, there
you
is
know,
one,
alleging
yeah.
that through
Meta.
Facebook, Meta, Instagram, and WhatsApp, they're violating all these antitrust laws. They're becoming a monopoly.
Right.
Well, the Department of Justice has an antitrust division, and
Oh,
that's
still?
that's well.
I'm surprised.
Not
The
for
trial
long.
is the trial is set to begin on April 14th. Who was seen going into the West Wing this afternoon at about 1 p.m.?
Mark Zuckerberg.
So
They're going to settle. They're going to settle before
exactly,
the trial.
they're going to probably just dump it all together.
Probably.
Yep.
Holy shit!
And then
I
you
need
start
a beer.
to, and then all
Holy
these,
Christ.
all their appearances at these rallies up to the election start to make sense. It's like, oh, why?
It does make sense.
it's
Of
like,
course.
Why would Mark Zuckerberg all of a sudden care so much?
Well, when it's all about making money and capitalism, I mean, there is no law that says you can't make as much money as you can, and that's capitalism. And the,
Right.
the unfortunate thing is, I think these fuckers are just taking it too far. I really do.
Isn't there a moral?
No, there's not. No,
I mean,
you're right.
isn't
There
there a
should
moral-
be.
there's a
there
moral
has been. Okay,
law.
there has always been a certain amount of morals and obligation for these legislators and our lawmakers. But it used to be not more than 10 years ago, before Trump. We all fought. They all passed bills and laws and ate steak and lobster together.
Yeah.
Went on their yachts and they did all. Now they're fighting. Now they're fighting as bad as us because of Marjorie Taylor Greene, because of AOC, because these people with their loud mouths that just shouldn't speak a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to be sexist there. There's a lot of men that way too, you know? I mean, honestly, I'd say, like, you've got a handful of good ones.
Yeah.
Out of 150 people representing our country,
Well,
I think you got a handful of good ones. That's it.
It feels like, the oligarchy is on full display now.
They're proud of it.
And we've talked about this, where how school shootings, nothing to be done, thoughts and prayers. You
Thoughts and
key a
prayers.
Tesla, we're going to get laws on the books tomorrow
Yeah.
to send you
To
away.
send you to-
So the oligarchy's on full display. And I think all we have left, all that we have left, a lot of people think all we have left in the government is just the theater of it. Just the political theater. And that's why you get the Marjorie Taylor Greens. That's why
Yeah.
you get the Lauren Boeberts. Or the
What
only
country
reason,
are you from?
or the only reason they're there
Don't
is
you
to
worry about the immigrants raping your women?
get, right, is to get
God,
likes and
shut
clicks.
up, woman. Jesus, she's something else. I tell you, she's a nasty woman.
Yeah,
she is.
She's a nasty one.
Did you just word nasty woman in?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
I got that one from a
So-
genius.
I'll allow it.
So, Ed, speaking of oligarchs, your home state of Wisconsin last night had a very important election.
It really did. It
Elon
was,
Musk spent, I think it was
24 million.
Yeah, $24 million
million
trying to buy
which
the
is
election.
nothing to him. That's like 13 cents to us.
and he still ate shit.
ate shit big time.
Yeah, big time.
So do you think that's okay? And
How
then
much for that justice in the window? Yeah.
How much for that justice in the window? Well, it was the most money they've ever spent, ever, in the history of America on a Supreme Court, court race in America. Also, in Florida, not as much money was spent on the two House races, which Republicans won both.
Yeah.
But the dude that called that lady a towelhead or something,
Yeah.
I forget his name, but I know him as a towelhead guy. Like, he had the balls to say that. He's an elected official, and he calls a citizen
The balls.
a racist fucking derogatory term. You're like,
Yeah.
and these guys are like, let's vote for him.
Yeah.
He's projected to win by 30%. He won by 8. So there might be a referendum going on right now. I'm not saying there is. I think in Wisconsin, I think the Democrats are smart to pour everything they had into it.
Maybe
'Cause
they
it's
were just too drunk to go to the polls.
Oh, you're
They
right.
do drink a lot
They
in
do
Wisconsin.
drink a lot, man. It's
So, okay, back to what you were saying. Maybe this is, enough is enough with people, the billionaires trying to buy elections. Because to my understanding, the only way to get rid of Citizens United,
Yeah, it has
which
to go.
essentially says money equals speech, is to do a constitutional amendment.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you on that note, and people, they would really want to bitch about Trump for not doing away with this. Obama had 8 years, and he had a full House and Senate.
He
Never
had
fucking
60
touched
votes
it.
in the
He
Senate.
fucking ran on it, too. He
60
ran
votes
on
in the
that
Senate.
shit. That, we're going to end Citizens United. Tester was all about ending
Yeah.
it and everything, and never went anywhere. Because
mean-
they're making millions of dollars off
So
of
would
it.
you say we're closer or farther away from ending Citizens United?
Oh, further away than we've
Further
ever been.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Montana legislature can do a resolution.
Yeah, right. We'll send
Yeah.
it. We'll send it to D.C.
Yeah.
They'll get right on that.
Yeah, they'll
for
get
us.
right on that. Let's overturn
Don't you
that.
think we're further away?
Right. DC essentially saying, would you like me to throw this away? Okay, cool.
Don't you think we're further away?
What do you want me to do with it? Yeah, I'll toss it.
Don't you think we're further away, though?
I mean,
How are we going to get constitutional convention? I mean, Trump's got to really fuck up, and he is.
well, I don't think that'll be a problem.
You're right. Well,
I don't
to
know.
half the country.
I like to say maybe we're closer to people saying, you know what? When it, like you were saying, when it was behind the scenes and we were all fighting each other, and
Yeah.
there were secret meetings with Bezos and Elon.
Yes.
But
Now
I
it's
think
not so secret.
I think now we're kind of seeing that people are saying, okay, this is a little ridiculous.
It is. It is.
And
I
now
mean,
we're going to slash almost $1 trillion from Medicare so some dickhead can buy another yacht.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, that's important.
Right. Again, maybe that makes me a lefty loony socialist
It
by
does.
saying
Yachts, lives matter, Ryan.
Yachts, life
right, yeah.
matters.
Well,
I mean, dude, I don't know. I don't know. But real quick, anything interesting happening at Whitefish? Any lawsuits that are juicy that we need to know about, or is it pretty boring right now?
I haven't heard
It
anything.
seems very boring. City council meetings, like the last 6 in a row, have been like, bleh.
I blame Mofeld.
Yeah, blame John.
Hey,
Yep.
that's risk management. Just so
You're
you
right.
know.
Actually, it's a great thing. You're right. It probably is a great thing. Okay, real quick. Okay, I don't know how the fuck our vice president can go to another country and talk to them how bad they're being treated by their motherland Denmark or whatever. All this propaganda.
Greenland,
Now, even the fucking idiots out there, the illiterate people, like they must understand that there's something wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going there and criticizing them. He couldn't stay on the island anywhere except for a military base because nobody wanted him. 85% of the people polled say they don't want this at all. I mean, so is he a little boy toy going out there causing these disruptions so the oligarchs can keep stealing our money?
It's distraction.
Because it was stupid. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen anybody in American politics do.
I have 2 points,
Yeah.
two responses to you. One, say what you will about J.D. Vance, but his eyeliner was looking.
Oh my God.
On point. It was on point. It was on point for
looking
that one.
Fire.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to give his makeup artist credit
All right.
because whoever that is, and I'm sure it's a she. They
Two,
would not have a dude.
could you imagine if Uday Hussein had come over to the United States and said, "Yeah, we're just thinking about buying the place."
Yes. That's what we're doing. Like I said, when the snowflakes get all fucking tore up about them booing our national anthem when we just told them we want to make them our bitch. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, like I've said that if they booed if we booed their national, I mean, it's just insane stuff. It is. But his eyeliner was on point. That was.
Do you
was
remember?
totally on
Do
point.
either of you remember how the Dixie Chicks were treated?
I do remember.
Right?
Because
When all they said was, "We're ashamed the president is from Texas." I
that's
mean,
it.
boy, that seems just silly now, doesn't
Well,
it?
you don't mess with Texas.
Right,
That's
well,
what I hear.
yeah,
I mean,
Jesus
it's pretty crazy.
Their governor can't even walk.
Mexico.
So
Yeah.
there's I mean, the Greenland thing. I don't know. I mean,
Is it going anywhere? I guess
none
would
of
be
it's
my
going
question.
anywhere. It's impossible. And
Then what's
there's
the
no
point?
fucking way you
What?
want a bunch of liberals in the country if that's what if your goal is to win elections. You're not bringing Canada and Greenland in.
Why
You're
do you
not.
want Greenland?
You're
Why,
bringing.
why do you even want Greenland?
Well, military, and then, minerals, resources, of course. I mean, it's fucking, nobody's mining that whole island,
Gotcha.
But, again, same with Elon Musk saying we're going to be mining asteroids in Mars here in 10 years. Why the fuck are we doing that? It seems like it'd be really cheap, right? To go 10,000 miles out into space and go get some fucking ore? Shut up.
It's almost as if he's full of shit.
You've got millions of people dying. Yeah, it's almost as if. Millions of people dying. People are going bankrupt. They can't go to the doctors. All this shit. You got all these problems.
Yeah.
And we're talking about mining shit on asteroids because that's cool stuff from Chainsaw Boy.
Well, but that's another issue I have is, people go, well, we're giving too much money to the Ukraine. We're giving too much money to this country. And they go, okay, fair point. We need to spend that money in our borders. They go, okay, well, people need
do it.
health care, people need homes. They go, no.
No.
That's socialism.
We're going to subsidize corporations.
No,
That's
Jesus
where we're going to spend that
Christ.
money.
It's like, look, we as a nation,
What do you think Tim Shee's going to do for Montana when we fucking lose 40% of our
I
economy? because
forgot he
95
existed until you just said that.
Well, he was on CNN the other day.
Yeah.
Just not sounding smart. It's a poor representation, I think, of Montana.
He's an
But if
American-
you like rich douchebags, that's
an
kinda
American
where we're
warrior.
at. American warrior. American warrior, America. But what's he going to do?
I don't know. I would imagine that
Our farmers are going to get subsidized like fucking crazy in Montana. You watch.
I would
We're gonna
imagine
have to.
he sits next to Steve Daines in the cafeteria and says, "What do I do?" And Steve says, "Just follow my lead."
He's like Schubert and Mitchell.
Yeah,
Has
right.
anyone
Yeah, he's like,
seen-
"Just follow my
Has anyone
lead."
seen Steve Daines in
I have no
years?
idea.
I bet Steve doesn't even talk to him.
I get random emails from Steve Daines now and then. Something. I got one today about these rogue judges.
Personal?
No,
emails?
well, I don't think it's personal. but-
Hey,
I know Cory
Ryan,
Booker texted-
Steve.
Ryan, what's going on, man?
Cory Booker texted me after
he
his
did?
filibuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay, so real quick, before we get to our top 10 tonight, there are 3 bills in D.C. now that I find really bad for America. The first one is they're going to try to undermine the rulings of federal judges. They want to pass a law where legislature has ultimate control over a judge's ruling. Like, have you read this?
No, I haven't.
Have you,
it
Angie?
doesn't make a lot of
Like,
sense.
what the
to
fuck
me.
is that? Like, another attack on the judicial.
Yeah, well, it's not understanding the 3 branches of government.
Again,
Like basic civics.
like we rip on Montana for trying this shit, but this is our Republican GOP House.
So I don't know about this law. I'm unprepared to discuss it, but I will anyway.
Very good.
Usually, the way these things work out when they try to, fuck with the courts is they try to take away their jurisdiction for certain claims.
Yes.
Is that what they're doing? They're
No.
basically saying like,
They're like
No, they're
full
like,
on-
your fucking ruling doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah,
We're gonna vote on that shit.
Yeah.
that seems bad.
That is exact opposite of what we like. The only thing that saves
Ryan's
us.
understatement.
That
That
seems
seems
really bad.
Here's the thing I think that MAGA's got to understand, and I'm not going to say conservative or Republican.
Yeah.
I'm going to say MAGA, the fucking idiots out there,
Sure.
the real idiots. You know, this could happen to you, you fucking morons. If you're going to say that the judicial doesn't matter, then you're going to have liberals fucking shoving shit down your throat. How are you going to like that? It's coming. You know, nothing stays the same. And
Second
how can
Amendment
you be
remedies,
so dumb?
brother.
I honestly think a lot of these MAGA people are that dumb where they think this life is going to be for the rest of their lives now.
The tide changes. The tide changes, right?
What? I mean, it doesn't seem that way. Like, you're voting against your own interests. You want the government to do something that one party has ultimate power. Well, you just don't think about when the other party has power. I mean, that seems really irresponsible.
Short-sighted.
And you've got to be you can't be real smart to not even worry about it, you know? Because that judicial branch is going to save a conservative someday, too. And it has 1,000,000 times over.
Yeah.
In fact, it's done it, you know? The SAVE Act. The SAVE Act.
Educate me on this one, too.
This is crazy. If you got married and you accepted the name of your husband,
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Check.
and that doesn't match your birth certificate, you can't vote.
You can't vote.
Like, you can't vote.
You can't vote.
Well, you can't vote until you, like, re-register?
You gotta you got to change your fucking name back and
Yeah,
shit.
you gotta change your name back. You
gotta
can't
there's a lot
vote.
or you can get a passport. There's said something about a pass, like it's really loose, but it disenfranchises I think 70 million women. And of course that is a huge number. You know what I mean? But would it matter? I mean, it's probably split down the middle anyway who they vote for. The country's so divided, I don't know, you
Yeah,
know.
but that's like not the point. It's
No, you're right, it's not the point.
No, it's disenfranchising
And it's not only
women.
this, there's a lot of things that make voting harder. And this is one thing that I know conservatives and Republicans, which, you know, I tend to side with sometimes, because like I said, I'm not calling them MAGA, because these people are a completely different fucking thing. You know, that do care about certain things like this and don't want to see voting get harder and think voting should be easier. There are conservatives out there that think voting, it should be a holiday. It should be a time that we celebrate. It's the thing that we should all do. But you've got these extremists.
Are these conservatives in the room with us right now?
I don't know.
Maybe. You never know, you know? But it's not that conservative, you know, don't, like, listen to us and, like, I've got a gazillion conservative friends. You can't not in Montana.
I know Lance is
unfortunately.
watching.
No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Lance.
So in that vein, question for you two. How close do you think we are to voting from our phone?
Voting what?
From our phone.
Dude.
You have an app or something,
no,
and you
I don't
I think
think
it
so.
should happen.
No,
20 years?
I think it should happen,
Yeah.
but I think that it's
gonna be a long time.
it's gonna be paper ballots.
Well,
Pretty soon. It's
again,
not even gonna be mail-in.
I think
right?
there's a benefit. So America is becoming secular. It's becoming less religious. You know, less people are getting married. So they do not want to make voting easier for people because I honestly think it would make it hard for conservatives to win an election. I do because if you look at who doesn't vote generally, it's definitely liberals.
Sure.
They don't like what? What?
right.
It was. I missed it again. Like seriously, dude.
I've been there.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay. Here's another one that the Biden administration passed. It's not in effect yet, but to cap overdraft fees from banks and credit card companies. What is wrong with helping the American consumer by accepting this? Now there is a bill to get rid of it,
Ed,
to let them charge whatever the fuck they
Ed,
want. Again,
We as a nation, as a people, we owe a duty to the shareholders of J.P. Morgan Chase, and I just
You're
don't know
right.
what to tell you.
I'm so
okay?
sorry. I forget about that.
You
I
know,
mean, I do.
They've had it hard up for too long.
You know, I've almost been bankrupt and lost my businesses a couple times in my younger years from cocaine. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
From overdraft fees and things.
Sure.
You know, like Angie thought that was funny.
I did.
I
was
heard
like,
stories.
just-
They're designed to
do
keep
this
you
and-
poor.
But I couldn't get out of it for years. It's I just
crazy.
couldn't. I'm like, son of a bitch. Then it's like, I got to borrow money to stay in business. Well, that's at 18%.
Sure.
Jesus Christ. And miss one of those payments?
Exactly.
Oh, you're stealing then. Then you're turning to theft.
Right, but who is voting for this? I don't understand.
Well, the Republicans, you know, but there will be a few Republicans that vote against it, just like they did against the remote voting. I don't think, because some of these things are pretty extreme, man. They're really extreme, and if they want to win another election, and I think a lot of them are seeing that now, if they want to win another election, they can't be this crazy.
That's the upshot on all this, right? Is stuff like this just shows you they're gonna fuck this up.
Yeah, you're right. All
Right?
right.
They're the dog.
Let 'em.
Yeah, they're the dog that's caught the car.
Let
It's
'em.
like, now what do you do?
Yeah, you're right.
Right,
You're
what
right.
now?
Let
You're
'em.
right. Oh, TJ wanted us to make sure that nobody texts war plans. Stop texting war plans, Billy, please.
My phone's blowing up.
All right, let's get to our top 10. Micah, or Micah, Paris, slide 5. No, one before that one. After that, there you go. So, top 10 things that piss off MAGA. Not conservatives, not Republicans. This is MAGA. Auto stop on your new car. I mean, they fucking hate it. Like, they get enraged because every time they go to a stop sign, their car shuts off. That's kind of how they do it nowadays, you know? Goddamn hippies, emissions, is that?
Well, I mean,
I do hate it when
I
my
hate
dog
it
does
too, but I'm not losing my mind over it. And there's
No,
a
I
button
mean,
that I
just
can
you
turn it off.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's like they're outraged.
stop signs are tyranny.
Oh, they are tyranny. All right, number 9. Anyone with a full set of teeth. MAGA does not like that
Yeah,
at all. No,
not a
That's
good look.
Not a good look. Not a good look.
Well,
Electric cars.
no, they're cool now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
because these
they
guys are driving
are
them
cool
now.
now.
That's right.
Yeah, they're
Isn't it
cool now.
something? And
What in the hell is that?
I mean,
what? Elon Musk gave every congressman, Democrat and Republican,
Marjorie?
oh,
all
interesting.
100 of them. Democrats and
Well, there's 550.
or I mean 5
56,
oh,
yeah.
oh, the U.S. House. He bought the entire U.S. House
And the Senate.
and the Senate. Holy a Tesla. Oh, come on. His stock is. These guys see the futures. Just wait till tomorrow.
Well, it was only a matter of time before our government was
Just-
completely hollowed out and replaced with a used car lot.
Dude,
It's only a matter of
It's
time.
happening.
Yeah.
All right, number, I think, 8. Foreigners except for Elon.
That's true.
We do. MAGA does not like foreigners.
That's true.
Especially Marjorie Taylor Greene. Number, I can't even remember what number we're at. Trans fat. We're banning trans fat because
No
we
more
can't have
trans
trans.
fat.
No more
No more
trans.
trans
You're
fat.
going to miss my
Just call
nuggies.
fat. Are we
You're gonna
Straight
miss my
fat
nuggies.
only.
One thing MAGA really hates is due process. Due process sucks. You know,
pisses
the whole
them off.
Constitution is fucking
It pisses
stupid.
them off like you couldn't
It's
believe.
a stupid document. Should have never been around. I think it was a big
Constitutional
mistake.
rights, they start with
They
me,
didn't
they
mean
end
it.
with you.
That's right. That's right. End with me. They didn't mean it. Group text chains. People, they do not like that. I mean,
man.
you know, these are people leading. We're a laughing stock around the world. I don't know if people know this or not.
Yeah, yeah.
But I read other.
J.Lo Vance is like, what?
I mean, the
like, what?
emojis and shit like that. What are people doing? You know
Can you
what I mean?
imagine getting that? The journalist and being like, oh, what in the fuck is, holy shit.
I know. Fist pump.
They're like, is that really the JD Vance?
This is
Because, you know, I get
crazy.
spam texts all day, every day about you owe a toll, you
All he
pay.
had was what?
Yeah, right.
Excellent.
Well, then, and
Is it like
Hegseth
Bill
goes on
and
the
Ted
camera
at
like,
this
we
point?
were not texting war plans. When it was already
Bullshit.
broken in the news.
Bullshit.
Like, wow, dude, that is dumb, all right? And number 4, 3, consent laws. Like
Yeah.
this guy, he does not like consent
Not a
laws.
big fan of that.
No. That'll get you in trouble.
Land
That'll
of
make
the
you wanna
free, home of the brave.
you might want to resign after that. Number 2, a 401k full of money. Yes.
Right.
That's
Personally,
what-
I recently discovered my 401k is woke, so
It
I'm
is.
glad that it's tanking.
you know, if it is woke, it's got a tank. And number 1, the amount of steps in AA. Oh,
Right.
Hegseth gets that one.
Hegseth's working on that one to get him down. He's getting him down. Maybe 3. He could do 3.
There's a couple things we could have shown there, like maple syrup, Hillary just walking around in the streets when she'd be in jail, that kind of shit, you know. But we already talked about this one.
Oh, God.
Oh, but we did. There is more money.
Well, I think what you were saying, Ed, so talking about how, you know, everyone's fighting everyone now. And
everybody.
I think what you're seeing is this is the culture war on full display. Right? This is
You're
the whole
right, it
point.
is.
This is the distraction. You know,
Wouldn't you think?
Elon, Gates, Zuckerberg, Bezos, they're all
They're
rich.
all white.
They're rich beyond
And
their
they're
wildest
rich beyond
dreams.
their wildest dreams.
Well, all of us just fight in the streets. And I think that's been the plan all along.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Well,
I
good thing
mean,
dueling's still. Good thing dueling's still in
And the
play.
gazillionaires, if they're going to, they're running things now. They're trying to change they're trying to change everything about us. Anything to benefit themselves. And hey, that's America. We've been doing that. We had the Copper Kings in Montana, and a lot of people that are in Montana know about that. And there is no difference in what's going on right now in the federal government.
Yeah,
there
it's
is no
bad.
difference.
It's real bad.
Except now, well, the Copper Kings are kind of in your face with it too. They didn't give a shit either. Nobody's standing in their way. And nobody's standing away in Trump right now.
Well, I guess the question I have is how much is enough? How much before American people say, all right, I've had enough of Elon Musk going to every state?
How can the richest guy in the world cut $800 billion from Medicaid that helps poor people? How the fuck is that a thing?
Because he wants to buy another yacht.
But come on. But still, but he's not getting that money. I mean, I'm sure he probably is.
Look,
but isn't it insane a little bit? Isn't it Dr. Evil shit?
No, it's like absolute power breeds absolute power, right? That's not a money play. That's a power play.
It's a power play. It's a power because he can.
he does not care.
Because he can.
He's a toddler pushing buttons to see what'll happen.
Yep.
Essentially.
Holy shit, that's a...
Because he's already
fucking-
won the money game.
That's a
It's
horrible
He's got-
analogy right there. That's scary.
Yeah,
That's-
you won. It's like the money game.
He's
You
got
won.
the money. Yeah,
you won.
he's got the money. It's about
You're
power.
the winner. I would imagine he's
my
bored.
God. Oh my. Okay. Well.
Sorry we gave you a headache.
Before
Yeah.
we get Mike up here,
My
Mr.
bad,
Jopek's
Ed.
coming in here in a couple of seconds. Let's with the slide, Paris. Trump's list of distinguished guests he's had at the
Hey.
White House lately.
Is that Zelensky?
Dude, I mean, Zelensky gets shit for what he wore. And,
Zelensky needs to wear a suit. God damn it.
but I'm going to tell you what. Kid
Yeah.
Rock set up a dinner with Trump and Bill Maher. And Bill Maher said he really enjoyed himself and thought it was great. you know.
Bullshit.
Well, that's what he said, and I
No
think
way.
Bill's known for telling the fucking truth, you know.
Oh,
but Kid Rock set it up, and I listened to I think he was on his No, he was on the show. He was a guest on his show, I think. And he said, "I'm going to get you two to have dinner together." And Bill's like, "Yeah, good luck with that," because he sued Bill Maher. Because Bill
I
Maher
remember
called
that.
him orangutan.
Yeah, he said his father was an orangutan. Yeah, I remember that.
Which was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the guy's got no sense of humor. He's going to sue him. Like, I don't want that guy's my president, but that's what we got.
Hey.
Whatever. Look at his lips seem very white. So does his eyelids. What's up with that? He's such a weird looking guy.
Strange.
Who else has seen him? What? Ted Nugent was there.
Oh, the Motor City
Ted.
Madman.
Yeah, Ted. And then the
Right.
next one, I think Ted and Kid Rock.
Yeah.
They were all.
When in
Catch,
doubt,
catch,
whip it out.
fever. Genius
Got me a rock
lyricist.
and roll band.
Genius lyricist right there. What's
What the hell
next
was
one?
Nugent doing there? Like, why
I
was he
don't
there?
know why
Just to
he's there.
hang
Now,
out?
Look at this. Both of them. They're all there. They're all. So.
Hey, that's Sarah Palin.
I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it is Sarah.
Can't imagine what
She's
that-
still kind of smoking.
Yeah. I can't imagine what that ghoul is up to these days.
Wow. But you
Good
know what?
Lord.
Like I was talking. I don't know if I was talking to you, but this is America likes this, and I don't blame America for liking this. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you want to see things, but
Because all we have left is the theater of it.
it's the theater. But you
It's
got
a- it's
Nugent
a-
and
it's a
Kid Rock
TV show.
that
It's
spew
the theater.
conspiracies. They're
Yes.
not. They're just idiots. They're idiots. But you know, rural America looks at it and says Trump cares. I mean, he has a suit that costs about I don't know, probably $1,200, $1,800.
The man sits on a literal gold
Gold
toilet.
right? But he puts on a baseball hat, and he's relatable to everybody. Oh yeah. Then he had Kanye. Kanye was a
yeah.
guest there too.
Oh.
So
Noted anti-Semite.
I mean,
Kanye
and,
West.
you know, but people want to put
Boy, it's
Trump
a-
on this pedestal.
Real who's who in the White House. Yeah.
Oh,
Get
he's
it right.
Yee. He's called Yee now.
Yee.
Is he in jail? Is he in trouble now too?
No, I think he's out.
He's good.
I
He's
don't
good.
know.
Okay, I don't know. I
So,
don't know.
Okay, he's either severely mentally ill,
Which one?
Kanye West. He's either
Oh,
he's
yes, he
either,
is.
he's either severely mentally ill and being taken advantage of the people around him, or he just wants attention.
Because he's kind of like he's
Yeah.
acting like he's a Nazi.
It's weird.
What? He's black.
Yes, it's weird.
But he's a Nazi.
Well, I think it's a black Israelite thing. It's a little deeper than that.
Oh,
but,
it is. Okay.
That's a different show.
It blows my fucking mind, man. Before my mind gets blown more, let's get Mike up here. Mike
Yeah.
Jopek, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Mike, come on up here, Mike.
Mike, we want you to speak a little closer to the mic this week. We're having trouble hearing you last week. We're good?
We're gonna turn it up finally. New mic.
New mic.
Yep.
Hey, we
Yep.
got a new
Yep.
brand
Yep.
new mic
Yep.
here.
Ed O'Neill.
How about that Cory Booker, huh? Holy
Nice.
cow.
Dude,
I'm telling you, 25 hours.
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
And he never went to the bathroom.
Never went to the bathroom.
drink
I
any
mean,
water?
you can't make a 2-hour podcast
Fuck
without
no, I
going to
can't.
check the bathroom.
I can't wait to get you guys going so I can.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
make sure Corey's cousin Ron Paul's not in there while you know.
You know what? Ron Paul's been on the side of some sanity lately, actually.
RuPaul, not Ron Paul.
RuPaul.
RuPaul, that's Corey's cousin.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
No, check it out.
RuPaul's that the show that Andy watches?
The drag show, yeah.
The drag show.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Right,
That's his
there's
cousin.
RuPaul.
Cousins?
There's RuPaul, the drag queen. There's Ron Paul, the guy that started the whole libertarian thing back in the
Okay.
2000s. And then there's Rand
Rand-
Paul,
his
who I
son.
remember for getting the
RuPaul's
shit
son.
kicked out of him by his neighbor, if you
Oh, his
remember
neighbor
that. Yeah,
kicked
his
his
neighbor
shit out,
just
that's
beat the
right.
hell out of him.
Well,
broke his
hair,
ribs.
probably his haircut.
Well,
like, what the fuck are you wearing that for?
It was over a dispute of you're putting
mowing the
leaves
lawn
on
or
my
something.
yards, and his neighbor
Right.
just whooped him.
Yeah, but Booker, the vegan, I mean, how does the vegan go 25 hours?
I don't know.
You know, he started fasting like 3 days before.
It's a lot of
Well,
tofu.
I figured
And he
you'd
stopped
have to do
drinking
that.
water a day and a half before.
You'd have to be able to write. That's why I'm like, he had to have prepped for this, and it couldn't be easy for an older dude that's got a ritual and stuff.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
he broke that filibuster on the Civil Rights Act.
All right, yeah, that's amazing. What was the old record? Like 21 hours maybe or something? Or?
No, he just busted by a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, he just did it by a
Yeah,
minute.
how
Just-
poetic is that?
The old record was Dave Fern.
So was he trying to ask that Dave would have no problem doing that.
Oh, my God, does this guy
Holy
ever shut
Christ,
up?
He doesn't
Jesus
shut up.
Christ.
My God, he's so
And,
loud.
you know, Booker's 55.
He's 55.
Yeah. And
Oh, he's
the
in that drop dead age
And the
thing.
guy who was filibustering the Civil Rights Act, he was 55 as well.
Really?
How do you get those 55-year-old guys to talk for 25 hours?
Well,
cow.
give me
And
3
stand
years
up
and I'm
for
gonna,
25
Yeah.
hours.
man.
I'll let our fans know in 3 years how that's going to
Yeah.
be.
What did you say, Mike? It was Booker powered by Red Bull?
Yeah, Red Bull. I think
Okay,
it's
that
sponsored
makes
by
sense.
Red
Booker
Bull.
powered by Red Bull.
It is vegan.
So anyway, last week on our show we talked about I was able to attend the hearing on the censorship or removal of Senator Ellsworth, Jason Ellsworth, and they actually voted yesterday again to censure him, and it went through this time.
Yeah, they're giving him the boot. They're
So
sending
he-
him over to the PSC.
Yeah, well, so that's what you're saying. He's going to run because now he's got to testify remotely. He's not allowed on the Senate floor ever again in his life.
Well, they
which-
basically don't want to see him.
So, of course, but say he runs for PSC or he
Kalispell's playing with the homeless people.
Yeah.
We don't want to
Yeah,
look
just
at
don't
them.
wanna see
I want
them.
to see them.
God, they're ugly.
You just censure them.
Get them out of here.
Censure the homeless.
Get them out of
You
here.
know what? That would be a better way to go about it. Maybe censoring the homeless. instead
I
of
mean,
creating
maybe
a
you
fake
could
news
suggest
story.
that to the county commissioners.
Oh man, Abel's all about that one for sure. But even if he runs for PSC, then he can't go to the Senate floor to talk about bills that they're trying to pass. I mean, to me, it's weird. Because unless he's only kicked out as being a senator.
Yeah, it's pretty odd to try to censure somebody from one legislature to the next one because the rules really apply to that legislature.
Right, so-
That's the issue. What happened with
Is he
the
gonna get
rep from
reelected?
Missoula? They couldn't keep her out from the next legislature.
Is he going to get reelected, do you think?
PSC?
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
he's done.
Send him
Well,
to the public,
he
yeah.
might be termed out by now anyway. Ellsworth's
know.
got to be close.
Don't know.
We only get 3, right?
No, he was running for that judicial seat last
Oh,
year.
yeah, he's running for clerk
The
of-
governor's seat's open. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities.
He
He's
wanted
paid
the
for
clerk
that
of Supreme
kind of
Court.
business.
The clerk of Supreme Court job. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
So
he
it
could
pays
manage
like,
that slush fund from the inside.
Yeah.
well, it would be easier that way. And I think the salary for clerk of Supreme Court is around 110 grand.
Oh, is that all?
I know. But he spent more of that on signs. I'm going to tell you that. He had a sign in every corner of Montana. It was pretty amazing, you know.
Oh my God.
But one thing I thought was interesting, and we've talked about this before on our podcast, and most people disagree with me when I say I think we need a sales tax.
Here it comes.
But I know the legislature considered a pair of bills seeking public vote on sales tax. I think that's a start. I think that's a legitimate start. Give a public vote. I think that's fair. It's better than them just saying, because if the liberals ran Montana, they would just do it. You know that.
I don't know if they
people to vote.
would. Bullock didn't want to do it.
No,
Bullock
no
was very
Democrats
against
ever
it.
wanted it. But you know what? I think people like me are starting to want lower property taxes.
Right.
Not saying that it
Well,
guarantees
let's
it.
fix the property tax thing first. It's a
But where are you
pretty
gonna come up with the
simple
money?
fix, you know.
But how
Don't-
do you
don't
come
be
up with that
trying
money?
to throw more money at the problem.
I don't want to give them more money. Well, they're collecting more money because they legalize marijuana. $63 million.
Yeah.
So I know that doesn't offset the state budget by any means or anything, but how in the world will my property taxes ever go down to a level that's actually reasonable?
Well, you can tax second homes.
Well, and there's a bill to do that.
You can
and
tax Airbnbs at a higher rate. And Ed and I have had this conversation before. The argument against you on the sales tax is sales tax in general tend to be very regressive.
You're
Meaning
right.
the poorest people in the state end up paying the majority.
And the money never goes to where it's supposed to.
Right.
Never does. And it probably wouldn't save us any money. And I wouldn't. And to be honest, the only thing that really makes me against it is I do not trust our legislature to spend that money. Smartly.
That's fair.
I don't. That's
Yeah.
one thing I think
That's
that
fair.
sucks.
Well, all 6 of the Republican sales tax bills done.
Oh, they're all done.
All done. All
Oh,
6
wow.
of the
Well,
they're
I thought
all
they were just.
Republican
I thought
sales
they were just
tax
going to put it to
bills.
a vote, and I thought they were just like gonna let people see what people's feeling was.
Oh, like a ballot initiative where they put it on the
wouldn't
next
be
ballot.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Whenever I went to the doors, nobody
They're
ever
gone.
said tax me more with a sales tax.
Yeah, no.
They
Well,
never said that.
No. So my thought was, quadruple at least the bed tax then, because that's not going to hurt us at all.
Wait,
and our bed tax.
Hear that? That's Rhonda screaming. I can hear her from the garden wall.
Wait, oh boy, she doesn't like that one.
Oh yeah, she's pissed.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Yeah.
I just said
boy.
bed tax. You're right. You know what? But I don't really care about Marriott. You know, we can say
Yeah, fuck them. Yeah.
bed and breakfast can have a different, bracket. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Sure.
it would
But-
be
but-
hard. It's
but,
so
like,
hard
we've
to
gotta-
administer.
But you're just looking for more money.
We got to have them. Well,
You're looking for more money.
because I want my
What the
property tax to go down.
Republicans said, well, because they're cutting the income taxes. The
Yeah.
property taxes have to go up if the income taxes go down, because that's how school funding works.
Yeah.
I just heard if I could make somehow more than $400,000, I'd get a good tax break in Montana.
Get to work, pal.
I know. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because I'm stuck in the probably bracket of paying
If
the
you were
most.
an exemption corporation, out-of-state corporation, we would give you exemptions for
$400,000.
And you can subsidize me. I don't know what it is. I know it's a lot. I know it's like.
You're gonna have to sell 7 or 8 more orders of wings.
Speaking of
Maybe
wings,
10.
there's some good news for the wings.
Yeah.
Did you see that they're
Oh, no.
the business equipment tax?
Oh, dude.
They're
What?
increasing the threshold, right? They just
Oh,
did
they
it
are
today,
again?
yep, from 1 million to 1.5 million. And Dave Fern on the floor said, "This is so Ed can buy another chicken wing fryer."
He said that.
Yeah. Crank 'em out, baby.
Well, I don't mind that. They increased that last session, didn't they?
They went to 1 million. Now they're
Yeah,
trying to
now
go to
it's
1.5.
going up again.
Yeah. I mean, they need. I don't know. But big corporations, yes, they do want that. People,
Sure.
People that are spending that kind of money. People that are building Montana, and it's a whole different ball of wax. Like what the contractors and the builders, and I mean, it's just because it's never going to stop here. Montana is
Won't stop.
I'm like, I keep telling people. I've told people for the last 4 years in a row. I'm like, you haven't seen nothing yet.
No.
You haven't.
No,
you
this
know?
is just the beginning.
It's just the beginning, man.
Yeah. The
Like
plane's
that
still on the
$1 million
runway,
Shitty $1 million
yeah.
house that you're like, wow, I can get $1 million for it now. Dude, you're 35 years old. Just hang on to it.
Yeah.
Just trust me. It's
Yeah.
going to go up. I mean, people don't believe it. I'll say, what do you think a house in Jackson, Wyoming costs? People say, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million? No. 3.7 will be the cheapest house I think
I
you
think
can
I
get in
saw
Jackson.
that was the most expensive zip code in the country. It's up there. It
More than
fluctuates.
Pitkin now, yeah.
Yeah, it's
No.
like Marin near San Francisco,
It's
Manhattan.
nuts.
Yeah.
But Mike, I want you to talk about this because this does matter. You would know more about it because you are a farmer, and there's been a lot of stories about what these tariffs are going to do to Montana. And I'm saying you're a smaller farmer, you're not a big wheat guy and stuff, but as a farmer and knowing what these tariffs can do, and 95% of our imports are all Canadian, Mexican, and China. The 3 countries that our beloved president is like deciding to really go after. Yeah. So what's the bottom line? What's the end game?
I
How
think
bad
the
can it
end
be?
game is really getting chicken wings from 76 cents per to $1.02.
Boy, that would not be good.
That would not be.
That would not
that's
be.
a 25% fucking raise, man. Jesus Christ.
I think that's where it's heading.
Like, you definitely can't do dollar wings
But
anymore.
so, Mike, back to Ed's point, is this going to move the needle at all in the next election in Montana?
I mean,
Are people going to care?
Are the farmers just going to get subsidized anyway? I mean, because they did last time we did the tariffs.
Last time they just threw money at them. I think what farmers want is predictability.
Yeah.
They want to know where their markets are.
Yeah, like the
they
weather's
want
tough
to know where
enough.
they're going to send their beef, where their commodities are going to go, where the lentils are going to go. They want to know where they're going to get their potash from, where they're going to, how much the fuel prices are going to be. Predictability. And the
Right
thing,
now, there's nothing.
well, there's nothing wrong with tariffs. But you're just throwing it all over the wall. That's the thing that's causing chaos.
Well, yeah,
to
we're doing it
farmers.
today. Now we're going to give them a month. We're doing it today. Now we'll wait another week. It's going to be 30%. Now we'll just do 20. Yeah, it is all over the place.
Yeah.
But the last time when Trump was president, from what I read, Montana farmers did get subsidized an awful lot. So did a lot of people in Montana because of the tariffs Trump did last time. Because I think we sell most of our wheat to China. Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
goes all over the place.
All over the place.
The beef goes all over the place. I mean, look
The
at
beef,
what
Japan,
happens if
China.
you lose the beef markets? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Yeah, and
Well,
I don't know if you've been looking at any of the prices. I mean, beef prices are up. The only commodity that's not up is wheat. Wheat's still at 2 cents.
Weed, you're right.
Yeah,
Weed sucks. It's cheap. Too cheap. I sell weed, you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
we
No.
produce some of the best weed on the planet here, right in Montana.
Yeah.
Right over there, yeah. Just on the other side of the
That's our
building.
number one export, is it not?
Marijuana?
No, wheat.
Yeah, I'm
No,
just
that's,
kidding.
what,
Yeah.
that's what he thought he said at first, you know.
Yeah, wheat and beef, yeah.
So right now, you think the Montana farmers are, well, they're in they don't know. You're right. They don't have certainty.
They don't know. The uncertainty, they're losing some of their, look at what they did to USAID. So the USAID, that was farmers
They're getting
producing
that-
that
you're
food
right.
and that kind of stuff. And so they lost those contracts. And now they're trying to get those contracts back. So the feds have to pay them interest on the lost contracts.
I never thought of that.
And so that's not efficient to have to pay interest on a lost contract. And so they're having to work this workaround. Look what happened with the food banks, getting farmers to grow food for food banks. They yanked those contracts.
Yeah.
And, that's even some of the farmers here locally that grow for some of the local food banks in Missoula and
Land to
Kalispell.
Hand.
Yeah, some of those
Gretchen
guys.
and those. Yep.
And so,
Has the king of the farm subsidies, Chuck Grassley, or as I call him, the Crypt Keeper, has he spoken on this?
well, he's the only farmer left in the entire Senate. I mean, after we gave Tester the boot,
Yeah.
he's the only guy left. But, they're actually even going after crop insurance. And, folks don't really think about what crop insurance is, but for farmers, if you get a big hailstorm or a thunderstorm comes through and your wheat field, your lentils get wiped out,
Right.
All your livelihoods for the year is gone, and so you buy crop insurance. That's federally subsidized.
Oh.
The feds kick in a certain amount of money to keep those crop insurance subsidies down.
I would bet the Monsantos of the world would be more than happy to swoop in and buy those farms for pennies on the dollar if they lose all their crops, they lose their crop insurance, it's over.
It really makes it harder on the family farmer, and some of these family farmers, they have operations year to year. They're trying to pay the bills. That's who's really going to get hurt by most of this.
I believe it was
consolidation.
I believe it was John Cougar Mellencamp who said, "Rain on the scarecrow, blood on the plow." That's a great song about the American farmer. Yeah. My grandpa was a farmer for years, so.
So is Ed in the restroom checking for RuPaul?
I think so.
I mean, there was some legislation that he's got to
that
go
what
in
you were
there
doing
every
when you
hour
were-
to make sure RuPaul's not in
I was
there.
looking for RuPaul.
You were
You're right.
enforcing the transgender ban?
So I'm assuming now they passed that now. I heard.
Well, it's on you to enforce it, right?
That's
Did
right.
you
That's
see-
right.
it's
You have
on
to every hour.
It's
They
on
want you
me.
to go in there.
Yeah.
Did you see Seekins Crow have a standoff with Zoe today?
Oh no, really?
And it's the most vile photo I've ever seen.
Follow
this
her on
Seekins
Facebook,
Crow
it's
might
awesome.
be the craziest bitch I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, she's fucking nuts.
Really? Who is this?
Cheryl Seekins Crow.
Cheryl Seekins Crow.
She's fucking
All right.
nuts. She super hates gay people.
She's not a fan of Zoe?
No. No. Look at her Facebook.
Okay, I'll check it out.
House Bill 121. That's why she's pissed.
Well, and this new transgender bill, there's no way that's going to go anywhere. I'm assuming it's probably.
Wait,
there's
you
probably
said it
injunction.
passed today?
I think one passed. That's why I put it in here. I think I read that.
The bathroom one.
The bathroom bill. The
But it
bathroom
hasn't
bill
been
passed.
signed by the governor.
Oh no.
No, he
Oh, he
signed
signed it already.
Oh, he
He
signed
signed it.
All right, he signed it in the bathroom.
Yeah. So it's law.
Which one
So
though? Which
I'm
bathroom?
The
assuming
governor
there's-
has a
Yeah,
personal
which
bathroom on
bathroom,
the
yeah.
side of his
Yeah.
Does
office.
anybody know
Right.
if there's an injunction yet?
There will be.
Today
There
then.
will be.
Oh, that's why she had the set.
So you just went to check the bathroom.
And all
Okay.
that happened.
You know,
I did it. You know, I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
There are no weirdos in the men's bathroom except for me. That was it.
Quinnell was here last week. I saw him at Exxon checking the bathrooms, creeping around. So that
Really?
was good. Yeah,
Okay,
that
good.
was good.
I'm gonna be a
Quinnell?
bathroom checker.
Yeah.
Does that give me a right just to hang out in the women's bathroom to make sure?
I think you're goddamn right.
God damn it! I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Angie, you better tell me when you go to the bathroom next. All right?
Yep.
Just make sure of that.
Gotta make sure.
So a month ago in the legislature.
What lawsuit did it?
1 month ago. 1 month ago, 90-day legislature. This plays into the Constitution. Constitution says that legislature can only meet for 90 days every 2 years. The favorite part of my Constitution, get those knuckleheads back home.
Yes.
You know, I'm telling you, the month ago, all the shady deals are happening right now.
Right
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
All
the
the
last
shady
week
deals.
is gonna
It's
be
hard
nuts
to follow
here.
right now.
But you know what? With Elzer's censorship and the Nasty Nine and the Democrats actually running the legislature, like the Senate, I mean that is blowing my mind. I mean, Montana, in my opinion, is a little better off right now at this point in the session than I thought going into December. I was like, we are. I didn't. To me, it didn't matter that they didn't have the supermajority this time. Seemed like they had more crazy people. There were some first
Well, term
termers.
limits. I mean, you got to fish lower in the barrel after a while.
Yeah.
You sure do. Oh my God, Jesus. So, do we know that the law firm that forced the injunction, that applied for the injunction?
Was it upper 7?
I don't know. So I'm assuming.
don't know.
Does anybody know?
I don't know if
I
it
know.
was.
I bet it was upper 7.
I bet it was.
I bet it was. Yeah.
She kicked
I
my
guess
ass.
I could text her right now. Anyway,
So the House passed the budget.
they did pass the
They
budget.
passed the
All right.
budget, 60 to 39. Got a bunch of
Okay.
D's to vote with him. Yep. And the governor's slush fund, you know, where he's got a slush fund in House Bill
House
4.
Bill
What is it
4.
now?
Well, they got that $1.2 million of federal money still in there, and he's skimming the interest off the federal money and spending it without legislative authority. Well, they just put some sideboards on House Bill 4, trying to curtail some of the governor's slush fund.
Oh, they're standing up to the governor?
Well, they gave him, after he signs the law,
Not
he has
exactly.
10 days
Exactly.
to spend the slush fund. Otherwise, the money goes into the capital improvements fund.
Not into the general fund. That's even
capital
weird.
improvement, better seats, you know, better siding.
You're right. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, the gallery needs to change. It does. You know,
Bigger seats?
Yes. There's this much legroom.
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah.
anybody's ever been there. There's this much legroom in the gallery.
Yeah, it's
The
like a
guys
cop
who
car.
built they were smaller.
They were they were a lot.
I mean, a
they're
lot
not our
shorter.
size.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to live in the basement of Remington.
Right,
I mean, they're
they're,
short
they're
people.
very small.
Leprechauns.
Yeah.
Okay, the judiciary, Senate Bill 42 and House Bill 838. Both of those are to restrict our judiciary.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't see a whole lot of support. I don't know, though. And I'm wondering, Mike, do you know anything about them yet or at all? Have you followed that?
Well, what was the bill numbers? I got my black glasses on.
Senate Bill 42 and House Bill 838.
Oh, yeah, 42 went down hard.
That was down. That went down like,
Yeah,
that was the one by like 80%.
41.59.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah, it went down hard.
That was it. It lost 51 to 49.
What was it?
That was the
Yeah.
bill that,
Holy cow.
well, that was the bill from the Ellsworth Committee on, you know, the slush fund committee
Okay.
to make justice partisan.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Which one is
It
it?
went
I gotta
down.
get my other glasses on. Oh, crap. Senate
Yeah,
Bill
they're-
49, right? Yeah,
42.
Senate Bill 42.
Senate Bill 42.
That's the one that says that, you know, if you're a judge, you have to wear your Republican robe
Okay.
and your
That's right, that's the
but
one
the
that did-
Green Party robe, the Libertarian
Yeah.
robe.
I thought that one.
The
I thought
executioner's
that lost
hood.
by a lot. That only lost by a vote. So.
No, this one was 41-49. The
41-50.
other one that you're talking about,
House Bill 838.
Yeah.
yeah, that one 838. That one 12 to 8. It's going on to the House floor.
It's going to the floor. Past committee.
Yep, it went out of the House floor, and that's the one that's sponsored by Regier and Sprunger and Mitchell and
Oh,
Crowley
Flathead
and
Valley.
all those
I like where
Flathead
this is
people.
going.
They all just coming out.
Yeah.
Is
But, you
Jesus
know,
involved?
Yeah.
I hope so.
They want your Supreme Court justice to wear their libertarian suit. I mean, you
Okay.
can't get libertarians elected to
Yeah.
the other office. So.
They took care of that last week. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's going to go forward, unfortunately, to
Yeah.
make it harder for
You know,
independents to
I
run.
think that's the only one standing.
Okay, that would be it. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the public lands one, I think that's a very important one. Senate Bill 307 and House what was it? Resolution. There was a resolution 24 maybe.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
But
Yeah.
so the 1.5 million, I've seen you put this out on your social media, and it's spread all over like a shotgun all over Montana.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and somebody responded maybe on your thread or something said, you know, once you give it away, you're not getting it back.
Never.
This is not a good idea. And who could be supporting this? And this is the last legislature. Didn't they try to do it last legislature? Not this much.
They've been trying for a long time.
For a long time.
And these are, you know,
this seems like shooting for the moon right now.
yeah,
One-
these are
1.5
state
million.
public lands held in trust for the people by the Montana Constitution to benefit schools.
Yes.
And, you know, they tend to be isolated parcels. They're harder to get to. You know, you might have a farmer here who's actually leasing that land.
And a lot of it's leased, yes.
Yeah, and they've kind of blocked it
But
off.
that money
and-
goes into education they're leasing it for.
No, the money does go into education, yeah. it goes
So now
into
if we want to
trust.
stop that program, we want to privatize it and sell it to whoever they want.
No,
so
no,
that money,
not to whoever they want.
No.
These are non-competitive sales.
how can that be? Like,
This
so
is
who are they
the
going to sell it to?
leaseholder wanting to buy the land.
Yeah.
Also the leaseholders.
Ellsworth LLC is the current highest bidder.
Yeah, but you know, all of the Flathead Republicans voted for that to sell the 1.5 million acres of state trust land. All of them.
I can see if somebody's been leasing
All from
land
the
for
house
a
side,
minimum
from the
of
house
20.
side,
If somebody's leasing land for 20, maybe 30 years at a minimum, I can see giving them the option to buy it. I could.
Yeah.
You know, and then take that money, invest that in something where the percentage could make that kind of money so it keeps going to education.
You talking about a slush fund?
Now, well, in a way,
Yeah.
but a good one for education. I don't see them doing that. I see them selling it, and that's it. You
Yeah.
know,
It's money
that
gone.
money's gone.
Yep,
you
it'll be
know?
gone.
So, do you think that one's going to pass?
That one, the Senate stripped out that million-acre thing out of it, and
Oh,
I
they
don't
did?
know, yeah, and who knows where it goes. I mean, we're in the last month. All sorts of weird stuff happens. This stuff tends to sneak back into all these bills during
Yeah.
conference
Oh, yeah.
committees, and you don't really know because no one knows what's happening except about 12 people at the end.
Well, that's why I'm trying to sneak in a couple of minutes of my own, but I'm not really telling anybody about weed, you know? And, like, I'm not even telling people, like, just like, no. The less people that know, the better. I like that. Surprise! You know? I want to be open till 10 o'clock. Big fucking deal, you know?
Yeah. This is the lobbyist dream
Goddamn sun
come
doesn't
true
go
at
down
the
till
end.
11
You're
in the
right,
summertime.
it is. At the end, it's just
At
like
the
go
end is
time,
the
crunch
lobbyist
time.
dream come true. Yep. You know, they gave me this pin, actually. It says, proud to prowl.
Oh.
And a lobbyist gave me this.
Proud
We
to
were
prowl.
making so much fun of them.
What do you got, Kevin?
So I was listening to Schweitzer's podcast with the guys from Butte.
Schweitzer got one too?
No, he was just on it. It was the guys from
son of a
Butte.
bitch.
It's Foley,
get
Bill
him.
Foley. He does
Yeah.
the Tapper Light in the
Oh,
paper and
okay.
stuff. And it was phenomenal. But he went in depth talking about lobbyists, how they work, and everything. And the number one thing that he said was when he got into office, he found the key to his office door. He threw the fucker away, and he never closed the door all 8 years he was in there. Anybody could walk in there. Anybody could videotape. Anybody could do it. So full transparency. I thought that was pretty badass.
Schweitzer was great with that.
I kind of
wasn't
remember
he?
that in 2011. Like you saw him around the Capitol.
Yeah.
When you were around there, you saw him around and stuff. You know, yeah, his door was open and he was just. I mean, we had him on the podcast last year. He's
the
awesome.
Republicans were so mad because he wore his jeans and his
Right,
bolo tie.
right, his bolo and
You know,
jeans.
and they were just like so mad.
Yeah.
But
for
if
the
Kid Rock
entire
showed
8
up in
years.
his outfit, he'd be okay.
He'd wear that on Letterman. He'd go in his jeans and bolo tie on Letterman. Yeah.
Yep. So the governor's reappraisal bill.
Okay, the big one.
The
Yeah.
Republicans tabled it.
Oh boy.
That's,
all right, we'll
that's
see.
the bill where you had
Let
to
me know.
qualify. You
Yeah.
had all these FTE. You only got half your money back. The Republicans tabled the governor's reappraisal bill
I
today.
think it'd be right on here.
Why?
They didn't like it. I think it had a lot to do with that, it only gave you a portion of your money back. And a lot of these guys were bigger homes. Some of them are Republicans.
Yeah.
And they wanted more of their money
Yeah.
back. And,
Oh wow.
and so there's only a couple of reappraisal bills alive still. Burns' bill is alive. Lou Jones put some funky amendments on that sucker. He did. He put some bad amendments. The amendment that Lou Jones put on Burns' bill basically says, after we give you $50 million of your reappraised property tax money back, the next year, if it goes down below that amount, we're going to raise the state mills to collect that money back.
Oh,
Oh.
It's a poison pill.
I don't like that.
So Joint Resolution 24 did die. Joint Resolution 24 did die. 34 to 66.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
That's the senators'
That's the
answer
land
to
one.
the
Utah?
House
The
members.
Utah, yep, the Utah
Okay, the
thing,
Utah
yep.
bill.
Well, the
Yeah.
House members had their own million-acre sale.
That's a
well,
good-
HJ 24.
Oh, we got Kevin up on the screen here with something here. What's he looking at here? Oh wow.
Wow. Oh, Mitch McConnell.
Hey, there's Rand
Trump's
Paul.
just like, how the fuck's he alive?
Wait a minute. Okay, so go back up,
Yeah, go
Kevin,
back.
real quick. So we got Rand Paul. I believe that's Susan Collins
That's
of Maine.
RuPaul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Lisa Murkowski from Alaska and old Turtle McConnell from Kentucky.
Wow. I think the state that gets more money back from every dollar in tax, federal dollars.
Well,
Kentucky.
the tariffs were targeted at
Well, they're both from
Kentuckian
Kentucky,
whiskey,
Oh, yeah.
bourbon, right?
Oh,
And so you
that's
got the
interesting.
bourbon
Big
people
time.
up there
That
saying,
is
"Don't
interesting.
tax
It's
our
big
stuff."
time. And
All right,
Alaska,
Rand.
too.
I take back all the stuff about your neighbor beating the shit out of you. Yeah.
So that's crazy. So, but I still. So it doesn't mean anything. He can still do it. It's he's still gonna do it. He's still doing it. I mean, it's okay, good. You can show the sentence against the president, but I mean,
So Susan Collins must be worried that her seat's going to flip.
She's
I-
very concerned.
I think she's up in 26.
very, very concerned.
I would imagine
she's
she's-
gone from very concerned to very, very concerned.
we think
She's
Tara's
got to be
heard-
the most, like one of the most vulnerable, if not the most
Oh,
vulnerable.
the most. If we think terrorists hurt Montana, I'm assuming Alaska is fucking off the hook. Because nothing stays there. Like 10 people live there. It
Yeah.
all goes out.
I think Alaska and Montana are like number one and number two.
Number two, yep, that's what I think. Yeah, we're 95%.
Well, you know that it's bad if Zinke's over there sweating it. You know, he's over there concerned about the tariffs.
Let's
Right.
just not bring up that name on the show.
He's coming on next week.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Kevin didn't tell you.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
He'll let you know.
I hope
Kevin
so.
booked him.
So
There you
go
go.
back to this governor's reappraisal bill that they tabled, the Republicans
Yes.
tabled. Did you see what the sponsor Lou Jones did? And he did. The Montana Free Press was reporting on that. Jones sent an email to all of the corporate out-of-state lobbyists who run utilities and pipelines and all that kind of stuff, saying, "Hey, look, if we give the homeowners their money back, your taxes might go up."
That's what we all want to hear.
Yeah.
He actually sent them an email.
Who did?
Lou Jones.
Luke
the
Jones.
guy who's sponsoring the House Bill 2, the state budget, the guy who's
Oh,
got the House
yes.
Bill 4, the $1.2 billion of federal money, the guy who was trying to do this reappraisal bill. You know, he's kind of like, he's got into legislature the same time I was there, back in 2005. That's how long he's been there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Man.
Damn, man. What was CJ showing you there? Was it worth it?
Oh, it said, elect ass, expect a shithole. Profound.
Profound. He's
I think
fucking
on that
pretty smart.
note,
Elect ass and expect a shit show. All right.
So I want to talk about one bill
Yes.
if you got time. I don't know what
Yeah,
else you
no,
got
for
in mind.
sure.
But, you know, Debo Powers, she had this bill. You know, she was trying to...
She's working it, man.
She's actually doing really well.
She
I'm
is.
impressed.
Me
She's
too.
She's a determined worker, and
Yeah, I was kind of like North Fork hippie. What are we gonna get out of this? She's working every day.
yeah.
Don't look at me that way,
oh
Angie.
yeah, and it's just in that House Appropriations Committee. I mean, that's a powerful committee.
Angie, you gonna run for office someday?
What's that?
Are you gonna run for office someday?
No.
No? All right.
Maybe, yes.
Okay, see.
Maybe, yes, but you can't call me a North Fork hippie if I do, Ed.
No, I won't. I wouldn't.
You will.
I'd like to. Oh yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I was talking to Weinberg yesterday
Oh God.
at the Taco Tuesday at the VFW, and you know, he's got plans for you.
Me too.
Yeah. No, you got
So-
plans for you or plans for him?
No. He said something to me, and I'm like, I'm writing it down, and he goes, and you can quote me. I'm like, I'm already going to. Sorry about this, I forgot.
Yeah.
Dan Weinberg, our esteemed one-term senator here, said, I go, Dan, there's a bill being proposed to put Trump on Mount Rushmore. He goes, he's pretty pissed off guy these days. He goes, if that's the case, I'm gonna take up mountain climbing just so I can shit on his fucking face.
Jesus.
Like, oh my.
All right.
It's like, damn, Dan, that's like,
All right.
Tell
Dan,
us how
you're
you
like
feel, Dan.
Yeah.
70 years old or something, and he's gonna take up rock climbing.
Yeah,
just so
watch
he can
the
go shit on
ticker
his
there,
face. I
Dan,
thought
yeah.
that was
You
hilarious.
should
So
get him up here.
I should. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Give him a louder mic.
All right, let's finish up on this bill.
Yeah. So, Debo Powers introduces the bill, House Bill 378, which tries to overturn the ban that the state legislature put on places like Whitefish and Bozeman
Oh.
when they do subdivision review. You know, it's basically saying that certain amount of houses need to be affordable to the working
Inclusionary zoning.
Or inclusionary zoning that we worked for
Inclusionary zoning,
3
yeah.
years
We don't
on.
use that
Yeah.
word.
The
'cause it's-
IZ.
Joe-
No,
yeah.
no.
I'm sure Andy's very familiar with that term.
IZ program, yeah.
3
so-
years of my life
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
the tube.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, it was a long time too. I mean, we used to work
3
on
years
that
of
back when I
Ryan's.
was
Yep,
on the
yep,
planning
I was on
board,
that
you know,
too.
way longer ago. But and so they amended that bill in committee to make it just exclusively for Whitefish and Bozeman. Said,
Jesus Christ.
well, no, that's not bad.
Are
You know,
we that
because those are the
exclusive?
only two places that were really affected by the
Oh,
time the law was
yeah,
in
yeah,
place.
yeah.
So it's kind of retroactive, and it's like
That makes a lot of sense.
They amended the bill and said, look, okay, Whitefish, you can do this. Okay, Bozeman, you can do this.
We're a little different than Whitehall.
Guess who tables the bill?
White Sulphur Springs.
Matt Regier?
Sprunger.
Oh, Sprunger. Her brother.
Sweet Sprunger.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I see her as a little more of a moderate. But
I don't think so. Nothing I'm
No,
seeing.
not-
Her name
no.
keeps coming up all over the place.
you're
on
right.
these
In all,
wacky
you're
bills.
right. And she's like a typical Kalispell MAGA. I want to say.
He's
I
moderate
guess.
in the way Dracula was a moderate. I
Okay,
guess.
well, she was last session. I'm just saying more. She was more. But they have a hatred for Whitefish.
Why?
I don't know. Because
Because-
it's so nice here.
Bring it on.
No, I mean, every bill last session should have been titled "Fuck you, Bozeman," "Fuck you, Whitefish," and also "Fuck you, Missoula."
Yep.
So There's that.
Yeah, because there are some liberals that live in these places, and they're pretty fucking creepy. I don't know if you guys know this or
We'll
not.
get them out of here eventually.
They're all pedophiles. That's what I hear.
They're in your bathroom, right?
your
They're
bathroom, Ed.
right fucking. I better go look.
It's the only place in the flathead they can actually
Quinnell,
afford
get
to
out of
stay.
there.
Affordable housing in the bathroom at the tap house.
Exactly. Cheap
we
rent.
get- yeah.
Only $1,000 a month.
Wow, not bad.
Yeah.
You got anything else for us, Mike?
No, I don't know. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. It depends on what you want to talk about, really. I
Anything
don't have too
Montana?
much going on. I mean, the House Bill 2 getting off the House floor is a big thing.
Which one was that?
You know, that's the state budget.
Oh yeah, the budget.
Yep.
That
When
budget.
you talk
yes.
about the budget.
That is a big
it's
deal.
the big
yeah,
one.
And
Yep.
you know, the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is more than half of the Montana budget is federal money.
Right. No, in most states it's that case.
Yeah, and so when they pinch that money, guess
Most red states.
what's going to happen is, you know, a lot of the services that we count on are going to suffer.
They're going to suffer.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about rural hospitals, rural schools, any of that stuff, Kevin?
What about Ellsworth, or not Ellsworth, Brandon Laird, what is it, Laird? I can't remember. Laird. Getting the
Laird.
amendment striking out selling the adjacent state lands. So it moved over to the Senate, right? Or
Oh,
back to
that
committee.
one.
Can you want to touch on that a little bit?
Do you know anything about that one?
That's that million acre sale, right? That one?
Is it?
Yeah.
We already talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. But that was the million acre sale that they wanted
Running
to
like a
sell.
top here at the podcast.
He had a long meeting.
He did have a long meeting. He's government oversight. That's
Yeah.
If Scott Worcester was there, you know, it made it tough. That's funny.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Great as
Oh,
always.
appreciate it,
Yeah, thank
Great
you
as
very much.
always.
Next week will be very exciting. I'm sure we've got Andy Fury and a couple other special guests. And,
No kidding.
And what's going to happen in the next week in the Montana Legislature?
Oh.
A lot. A lot of shit.
Got Andy coming, huh?
Yeah, Andy's going to come.
Who are
Yeah,
the
I asked him
special?
the other night,
Who are
we
the
were-
special guests?
I don't know. Kevin said it before.
I mean, he's been on the city
Oh,
council for
from
like
the
34
city
years,
Doge.
right?
80.
84
years. 84 years. Andy Fury's been on our city council for 84 years.
He's
Well, he
131
actually helped write the
years
charter.
old.
I mean,
Yeah.
the
He wrote
charter
the
that
original
Kevin's
charter.
reviewing.
Yep. That was Andy Fury. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And
Thank
being
you,
here.
everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Angie. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Angie.
Thanks, Ryan.